All right, exactly 10 o'clock on the 19th. We've got 42 degrees right now. It's a little chilly, a little windy, but we're seeing some blue sky up there. Maybe some more rain showers in the forecast today. Kind of a little bit of a carbon copy of what we had yesterday. And then tonight, kind of more of the same. We had a little bit of snow on some of the hills last night. So don't be surprised as we get down in many of the hollows, dipping down into the 30s. 45 tonight, and then tomorrow 63, and the sun is going to be shining a little bit more than today. Matt Marsh on the birthday list today, along with Ryan Dusso, Tracy Alger, Brenda Lamoro, Michael Farrand, Kelly Witt, Joe Tuthill on the birthday list today, Alyssa Duquette, Noah Spalding, Jamie Parker, James Richardson, and Christine Bristow, all celebrating birthdays on this 19th of the month. Inching closer and closer to Halloween. Yeah, we are getting close. Every year, and this is probably one of the scariest things about this time of year, every single year, right about now, insurance companies are able to make changes to the plans and the coverage options that they offer. And it seems like the older we get, the more overwhelmed we get with all of this. And that's why we're bringing Justin Lawrence onto the show, because I got to tell you, man, at 50 years old, and I know you're younger than I am, but at 50, I'm starting to get all kinds of stuff in the mailbox now. I got the walk-in tub commercials, okay, the walk-in tub shower thing, in the AARP magazines, and this dental insurance and that insurance and this and that, and sign up for this and sign up for that. I'm not prepared for this. I have absolutely no idea what all of this means. It is so overwhelming to me. For many others, not so much, but I live in a different world.
I don't think you're alone with that. I think most people are very confused, and it's complicated. You just get bombarded with literature every day.
Yeah.
Something's in your mailbox.
Sure.
It'd be nice if you could just throw that, set it aside, and know you didn't, if you needed it or if it was relevant.
There's a ton of anxiety, and I'll be honest with you. You know me, Justin. You know I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. I sit down at the kitchen table and I try to decipher this and understand what all this mumbo jumbo means, and I think, speaking for many others, I get overwhelmed, frustrated, discouraged, and I literally push it over to the side on the kitchen table. I'll deal with it later.
It's almost too much information.
It's way too much, and we don't have a whole heck of a lot of time to figure this out. And there's part of me that says, whatever I've been doing, I just want to continue to do the same. Do I need to sign something to authorize that? I don't know.
Right.
And that's why we're having you on, because you're going to be breaking this down. This is go time. This is sign-up time, right?
Right. Yes. October 15th to December 7th is the annual election period. So ASB Financial and Retirement VT, what we deal with the Medicare market. And that's an overwhelming market for a lot of people, with all the literature. There was original Medicare A and B for many years, and standalone prescription drug plans known as Medicare D. Now there's Medicare Part C, which is, essentially a combination of the benefits that A and B provide only via private health care. Yeah, there's 22 different plan options for Medicare Part C alone in the state of Vermont by 4 different carriers, 21 different standalone prescription drug plans. There's also programs like the V-Farm, which is a state pharmaceutical assistance program for people 65 and older that a lot of people really aren't aware of. So What we do is we break it down for individuals and explain it, help them navigate through the process so that they understand the choices they're making, they understand what options they have. With what we do, we represent many different companies.
Yeah.
So really what we do is just explain what the options and choices people have are, and then let them make an educated decision on what's best for them.
All right. So if I'm driving through Barre every day, or I'm walking down the street, what does it cost for me to walk through the doors here and come in and have time with you to break it down for me?
Well, this is a service. This is all just part of our business. The companies actually compensate us. It doesn't cost you anything out of pocket for that service. We receive compensation from the carriers if we do enrollments. So it's really no cost to the consumer whatsoever. It's one of the advantages. You can go, you can do things through the mail. You can go online, maybe go over the phone, do your enrollments that way. But I think people still like the in-person meetings. They like to get their information, and it's relatable. So oftentimes when you do things through the mail or over the phone or online, you still have maybe that little question of doubt. Did I make the right choice? Did I do the right thing?
Sure.
Is there something that's going to pop out and surprise me? Everybody's situation is unique and different.
Yes.
And so I think by having representation or an agent or local service, you really get better service, and you're going to get something that better suits your financial and your health needs.
And if you have a question the next day or maybe later that night, even if it's a dumb question, and is there such thing as a dumb question with all this stuff?
No, there really isn't. I mean, there's definitely questions and follow up and concerns, but there's really not a ridiculous question. Just because, if you're uncertain or you're not entirely comfortable, or you're just questioning something, it's a legitimate question and it should be answered.
And you can come in the next day. You can call you as a local guy, a Vermonter. You
every one of my clients have my cell phone number.
That's right. So if you need a quick answer, you pick up the phone, or you can come in the next day and sit down and chat with you face to face.
Absolutely.
So when do we need to start thinking about Medicare and Medicaid and all this stuff? What's the deal with that?
What is the deal with it? I mean, well, Medicare is essentially for people 65 and older, or people with a chronic condition or that have been disabled and collecting under 65 and collecting Social Security for 24 months.
But 24 months.
That's,
okay.
But 65 and older is the major group that's on Medicare. You paid in while you were working your whole life.
Your whole life.
And if you're eligible, typically for Medicare Part A, and then you enroll in Medicare Part B, which covers your doctors, then right now is the time to make a lot of those choices. Like I said, between October 15th and December 7th is the annual election period. So I'm sure that many people out there are getting, like you were saying, overwhelmed. They have, so much mail coming in every day saying enroll in this plan.
Right.
Maybe this plan's zero premium. And they oftentimes wonder, how can it be zero premium? Is it too good to be true? What's the deal? What am I giving up for that?
Yeah, we see the language, plans as low as $0 a month. We see that language everywhere.
Right, and that's outside of what a lot of people that have been on Medicare for years know. Years ago, I started in this business in 2005. It was Medicare Part A and Medicare Part B. They left behind some relatively large co-payments and deductibles if you were hospitalized or sick or ill or needed care. And people traditionally had a Medicare supplement, which is still a great option for many folks depending on their situation. They had a Medicare supplement that would pick up those co-payments and deductibles and work with the original Medicare A and B. Now, Medicare's allowed private insurance companies to administer some of the plans, and they get subsidized, or they get money on the back end for assuming taking over the health risk for the client.
Yeah.
So depending on how it's structured and how they think the expenses are going to be, the plans range in premium. They could be $0 a month. They could continue to go up.
What about pre-existing conditions? We hear that language all the time. We hear commercials. We see commercials on our cell phones popping up in social media. Our algorithms are being followed. What's the deal with the whole pre-existing condition stuff? That's so mind-boggling for so many.
So with the eligibility is what's most important for Medicare Advantage plans. You can't ask health questions. The pre-existing conditions, those don't apply. If you're receiving care for something with the Advantage plan, you're going to continue to receive care. I think with some of these Advantage plans, oftentimes you'll see where they're more proactive. They'll cover additional benefits above and beyond what original Medicare would cover. For example, they'll do health assessments, health screenings, try to tailor health insurance more towards you. It's kind of a more proactive approach. With original Medicare, there was, it was almost, they pay for medically necessary supplies and services and some preventative care.
Yeah.
And with these private insurance plans, they realize that, if you go to the doctor and get a physical or you keep an eye on your health, or you do certain things like maybe go to a gym
or a dietitian or whatever.
Yeah, that keeps you healthier. So they want that because obviously that lowers the claims. Some, like for example, a lot of these plans include a gym membership in the premium for free. Silver Sneakers is one of them. So they can, people on these plans get a free gym membership.
Is that what the whole Silver Sneakers is about? I'm smiling right now because my mom was part of the Silver Sneakers, and I never knew.
That's a gym membership.
I did not know that. We used to make fun of her. We're like, oh, you got your Silver Sneakers club. What's that all about? We never knew that, and that was through Medicare?
Yeah, it's through the Medicare Advantage plan.
Way.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, and a lot of them have vision, dental, hearing, which consumers don't normally get on anything else. So it's fabulous programs that are out there.
Healthcare in general, and I know you're going to talk about that, but healthcare in general, such a massive umbrella. It's the most expensive thing possibly on the globe right now, or definitely within the top 5. It's ridiculous how much money. Right? No, you tell me. What is this? Okay.
That's just a sheet that shows a quick example of some of the extra benefits that people can receive by being on Medicare Advantage programs.
Do we have this digitally so we can share this up? This is amazing.
Yeah, it's all part of a presentation that I have here. The big thing that we do when we sit down with clients is fully explain their options: Medicare A, Medicare B, what that looks like with a standalone prescription drug plan, maybe.
Right.
What that looks like with a standalone prescription drug plan along with a Medicare supplement policy.
Sure.
What options they have for Medicare Advantage plans, what the pros and cons for each scenario are, and then just really let them make an educated choice.
So you're looking for folks who are, what's the ideal person to sit down with you? Someone who is going to be turning 65 really soon, or has just recently turned 65 but is overwhelmed by all this? And
no, right now it's everybody that's 60. If somebody's going to be turning 65 and going on to Medicare for the first time, that's a great person to sit down and talk with. If you're 65 and older, and I say 65 or older, but if you're already on Medicare and under 65 as well, right now is a great time to talk to everybody that's on Medicare or approaching Medicare that has questions. We have the ability to sit down, educate them, and just really help them out and put their mind at ease, and almost take all that mail that you're getting on a daily or weekly basis, and just push it to the side, because you'll see something come in. You'll be like, oh, Justin talked about that insurance company. I know what that is. I don't need this. Or Justin talked about that. I don't need this.
Yeah.
And you can weed through it and know, oh, well, half of them I get consumers that go, hey, I got this from an insurance company, and it's just a lead generation
That's
thing.
right.
It's just somebody looking to get, name, permission to contact so that they can reach out to you.
Yeah.
And if you're already sitting there, one of the things that happens oftentimes with people is they get so much information, it's almost paralyzing. So they shut down and don't do anything, and that's not good either.
Me.
That's not good either. You really need to take this time to make sure that you have a trusted resource and you can make educated choices.
And you ask, you know how to trim the fat very quickly.
Right,
and
plain old English, simple.
I know, but sometimes you don't know who you're talking to on the other end of the phone. That's why it's nice to come in here and chat with you. What's your basic health like? Are you on a ton of medications? Do you smoke? Do you drink? Or are you, 64, 65 years old? You're physically active. You're not on a lot of meds. You're not a smoker. I mean, everybody's different, like you said before.
Right. Absolutely. Everybody's situation's different. A lot of people like paying a premium because they know maybe that's the most they're going to spend in a year. Some people say, hey, I'm really healthy. I'd rather save those premium dollars, put them in the bank, let it have some interest, and if I have some out-of-pocket expenses, I'll have that money set aside. There's all different
scenarios,
fits for everybody.
Yeah.
Health plays a factor on what they might want to do. And there's more and more plan options out there every year, it seems like. So it's almost getting more confusing.
That's right. Well, the world's changing, and they know this. They being the insurance industry, they know that our lifestyles are changing, our stress levels are changing, longevity is a factor. How long are we living?
People are living longer due to advances in medicine.
Yeah, right.
That changed a lot of the mortality tables for life insurance over the years.
Of course. And you watch these trends, which is amazing to me. Do you have to take seminars and stuff? What do you have to do?
There's a tremendous amount of continuing education and compliance training, product training, nonstop. It's just go.
Wow.
In order to represent these companies, most of them have their own individual training that we need to do, along with an AHIP training, which is America's Health Insurance Plan every year. There's a lot of training, and then quite honestly, I was speaking with another office yesterday. And they didn't understand, they didn't really know about our state pharmaceutical assistance program that we have here in Vermont, and how that impacts people with their ability to enroll, things like that. So a lot of it's also, I kind of would say, boots on the ground. Unless you're sitting down talking with consumers in this geographic area or in this state, you may not have the most relative information. So even though you can maybe enroll in a plan online or over the phone or virtually, so to speak, the advice that you get is probably good, but it might not be the best that you can get, because it might not be they might not have all the information. Now, it's not their fault,
right?
But they just might not be completely familiar with some of these programs that are available for people locally.
Yeah. My dad, who's almost 89, had a plan called Plan J.
Yep.
Which is
Medicare Supplement Plan J.
No longer in existence.
No, you can't enroll in a Plan J. Nope. Yeah.
But he had it, and because he had it, he was grandfathered
absolutely
into it. And man, did he beat that drum. He was like, I got Plan. I mean, I've been hearing for, a couple hundred years, I got Plan J. I got Plan J. I'm going to be just fine. Everything's going to be just great. Not the case. There's fine print in all this stuff. And just because there's a reason why, I'm assuming, they did away with Plan J.
No, well, yes, probably, but the fine print is probably that if you go into a long-term care situation, Medicare doesn't cover it.
That was it.
So there was no fine print in the plan. That was Medicare. Medicare, a lot of people are confused that Medicare covers what's considered to be skilled care. So they'll cover up to 100 days.
Yeah. And then it's out of pocket after that.
Right, and there's not a plan that covers that unless you do some long-term care planning and have that plan in place.
At some point, I really want to talk with you about that and what you know about that. I mean, in the future.
Yeah, that's one of the areas we work in. It's not just Medicare. It's retirement income, long-term care planning, legacy planning. We work with attorneys for estate planning. But right now, Medicare is a really hot topic, and a lot of people have a lot of questions on it. So that's why, it seems to be on the front of everybody's mind at this current moment, and it will be through the end of the year, basically.
Do you ever get into a situation where you just you have an individual that's in need of signing up for a plan, but you have to scratch your head and think, I'm not sure what to do?
What do you mean by that?
Somebody that, he comes in here that might be have a unique situation and might be a little unique in what they need, and you might have to sharpen your pencil for a little while and think about this.
Oh, well, I mean, I typically don't do enrollments or anything like that on the first appointment. I believe that if the first appointment, number one, that I need to get to know people, and they need to decide whether or not they're comfortable with me representing them and helping them, and I also need to determine whether or not I'm comfortable with them as a client, quite honestly.
Yep.
And then from there, I find out a little bit about their situation and what their needs are and what their goals are, and then you put some thought into it, and you come up with a plan for them so that you can help them the best way possible. It's not a sit down and just enroll. We don't want to just sign somebody up for the sake of. We don't enroll people for the sake of a commission or anything like that. We want to truly build out a plan and help people.
Right.
Otherwise, I mean, I really don't. I don't want to be the one that gives somebody bad advice and has to, when I see those people, I want them to go, Justin Lawrence helped me.
Sure.
Justin Lawrence he educated me.
Right.
I don't want them to feel like they bought something from me. I want to feel like I helped them enroll.
Yes.
And make choices. So I think that if you do that all at once and you kind of rush through it, I mean, I will do some health insurance enrollments right now on the first appointment if the consumer really knows what they want.
Yeah.
And we're confident in that. But typically I want people to, if you do it that quickly, they don't always follow along and understand. And so if we got to go from point A to point B, I want them to go with me. I mean, I might know when they walk in that they have to be at point B, but I don't want to just put them at point B. I want them to go with me so that they understand what they've done, and frankly,
hold their hand and show them the different roads and the different choices that.
Well, and I think that leads for honestly less calls on my cell phone going, hey, what is this? What is that? Because they're empowered and they understand what they the options they had, and they understand the choices they made.
Almost think of it as a Medicare, Medicaid 101, essentially a free college course from Justin Lawrence, the professor. You come in here and you learn about this stuff.
Absolutely. We typically go see people as well. I mean, they don't
really.
They don't always come into the office. It's we have the ability to. Folks can come in here and visit with me.
Which is an awesome building. I mean, come on. If you come in here, I mean, it's amazing. You come in here, you get to see everything.
You get to see the show in production every day.
That's right.
Or sometimes it's easier to sit at somebody's dining room table because they have everything there, and they have that stack of mail they've been getting, and we can go. Whoosh, and we can put it right into the trash.
I would hug you if you did that. If you took that,
you're probably too complex. We'd have to decide if I wanted you as a client or not.
I would be so happy if you just said, "Look," and you essentially kind of did that about a week ago or so, because I was asking you about life insurance, and I said to you, I don't have life insurance. I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what to do.
Get your butt in here then.
Yeah, and I was like, no, I'm not ready for this. But the amount of, all joking aside here, I literally had tears in my eyes because of the relief that you were able to dumb it down for me and show me, this is by the end of the week, you will have life insurance. I mean, that was massive for me. Totally overwhelmed by it. The term and the whole and the AARP offers that are coming in and the offers that are coming in from my credit union. And, oh, my God.
We're authorized to offer AARP. That's one of the United Healthcare is one of the carriers we use. So I mean that.
Yeah.
Every company, it's crazy. So I think that's the other thing with the business model that we utilize with so many different carriers. We're educated on each of them, so we know the pros and cons. So the fact that with the health insurance side, with the United Healthcare AARP products, the fact that we can represent those that. And you see a lot of that on the TV right now. We also are doing a lot of Vermont Blue Advantage right now.
I see Vermont Blue Advantage everywhere.
Right. So we do enrollments in both of those plans, along with some others. But those are the big ones that people are seeing a lot on. So just to be able to kind of clarify that and let people know, you see the ad on TV, whatever, it sounds nice, but you still have questions. So we eliminate those questions or answer those questions, however you want to look at it.
Has any of this changed, metamorphosized as a result of COVID?
No. I mean, it's all still the same. I think some of the way that people conduct business might have changed some. Unfortunately, some people may not necessarily be comfortable letting someone into their house. That's fine. Everything that we can do in a virtual environment. We can do that over the phone. We can do it, in a virtual meeting. So I think the way some of it's changed is that it's the way you can access this information with an agent, and still get that local advice, direction, things that are relative to you and your state. A lot of these agents across the country that are doing telephonic enrollments or enrolling people, they're licensed with in 22, 25 different states. So they have a really hard time keeping track of the ins and outs of all the programs. Where when we focus, our agents typically focus on one area, and oftentimes it's not even an entire state. It might even be broken down by counties, and that's how a lot of these plans are set up, is county by county. So I think a lot of it's changed with COVID in some ways as far as comfort levels, but the reality is the plans themselves are still the same.
The most vulnerable population in America is our elders, our seniors. And this time of year, I see, I'm sure you do too, that there's more and more and more information. And therefore, there's more and more scams that seniors really have to not only have their eyes wide open to, but also have a family member who is seriously dialed into how slick and how believable and how, frankly, talented some of these scammers are.
Right.
Most of it is done the old-fashioned way, by the phone. And some of these scammers will drop information about that individual to break that barrier and bring about some trust and penetrate that comfort barrier and ask information of that senior that they're willing to give out of fear factor.
Right.
Mostly. You've really got to know who you're dealing with.
Right. For sure. Know who you're dealing with. Our goal is to just be a trusted resource for a family.
Right.
Later on tonight, I'm supposed to go over and help somebody there. One of my clients I've had for years. They work with a company I no longer represent at this point with what I'm going to go help them understand. But we still do that because people become like family.
Yeah. It's relationships.
Their children called me, said, "Hey, can you come help my mom with this? And what can we do?" And, there's really I'm doing it because I care.
Yeah.
And so I think if you continue to do that and build your business model based on just doing the right thing for the right reason all the time, it's worked very well for me. And just genuinely taking care of people, doing what's in their best interest, putting them first and foremost 100% of the time.
And giving them the tools to make great decisions and frankly educate themselves, because at some point I'm really going to have to get on board and figure this all out. And I mean, if someone wants to come in here and chat with you, they want to bring their wife, their Uncle Jim.
They want to bring their kids.
To bring the kids.
Bring anybody, yeah, absolutely.
We could run around in here in roller skates while you're figuring out if it's going to be the original Medicare and Part D Medigap or the Medicare Advantage.
There you go.
All while the kids are running around.
Right. Well, the kids typically aren't running around if they're 65 and older. Might be the grandkids, JD, but.
So what can we? So it's go time now. This is the busiest time of year for you. This is when you're taking folks that are coming in to meet with you face to face. They're calling you. They're asking you questions. What's the deal now? Do you punch in at 8 o'clock in the morning and punch out at 5 at night?
Work. I never punch in or punch out.
So how can people get in touch with Justin Lawrence right now?
Well, they can go on Retirement VT on Facebook. They can go to ASBfinancial.com and request information. And
that's American Senior Benefits.
It's ASBfinancial.
Yes.
.com. It's not. They're affiliated with American Senior Benefits.
I'm just trying to learn something here.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get it, but no, sort of. I mean, it's affiliated, but ASB Financial is a separate office, separate. They can go on, request information. I think they could say, hey, give permission to contact on some of our forms. There'll be a link attached to these moving forward. So if people just want to put in their phone number, email, name, they're more than welcome to request information that way. Typically there's a lot of different ways.
And I'm just dropping a couple links on here right now in the live chats for folks to get in touch with you, to contact you today. And if you're on the go, if you're on the fly, we get that. But if you have any questions, really, truly, no question is too dumb of a question.
Oh, they're all legit questions.
And if anyone will prove that, it will be me.
You have done that.
So what can we expect? What's the map look like for you and I and this podcast? What are we going to be doing here?
Well, I don't know. I think it would be good actually if we have some questions that came up on some of the live chat, maybe even that where people had specific questions we could address in the future, specific areas, things like that. But I'd like to maybe come back in and talk about what the actual coverages are. I don't know. I think what's great about this platform is with the viewership, we should be able to actually have people get out there and say, hey, I really have concerns about this. I really want to know what this says. And then we could do a quick show and talk about it and address those, because if somebody has that question, they're probably not alone. That's the thing.
No,
people often feel like, well, maybe this is a ridiculous question and I shouldn't ask it. But if they're thinking it, somebody else is as well.
Yeah. And if there's
there's more than one of you out there that ask those questions.
I was wondering about that. Are there a few of me out there?
I'm sure. I think there probably is. I'm not 100% positive on that.
Yeah, but I can't come to you and say, listen, I don't know. You make the decision for me. That's not how it works. It really.
I can help guide you, but I can't make the decision for you.
Exactly.
I can give you advice, and I can guide you through the process. But
learning the nuts and bolts of this is so involved. It's so complicated. Getting older is it's an expensive thing, but it's also a complicated thing.
It can be less expensive than most people think too. So there are ways where you can be more efficient. But it definitely is complicated. It's definitely complex, and it can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
So really simplify. That's everything I try to do is to simplify and there's really no reason to overcomplicate things. But this is also the area that I work in. This is the area where I'm well versed.
This is your wheelhouse.
I couldn't run this like you are right now. I'd have all kinds of JD type questions if I was trying to do that.
True. And you should see me trying to take the helm at what you do. I mean, you want to talk about a disaster. I mean, that would be it right there. Listen, we all have our own skills. This is definitely one of yours. I don't know how you learn about all this stuff. I could never do it. There's so much involved, and we're going to make sure that everybody knows about Justin Lawrence and what you do,
Thank you.
And where you are, and that you're. It's real easy, and you're an accessible guy.
Absolutely, always available here.
Yeah. So 185 North Main Street, directly across from Nelson's Hardware, right next door to Aaron's Furniture.
Correct.
Pull up. If you see the lights on, pop in and say, hey, make an appointment, or maybe sit down at that moment if everyone has time, and if not, make an appointment and just get here and start scratching this off your list.
Absolutely.
Don't
wait. Just put it away right now.
What happens after December? What is it? 7th?
December 7th. It's the end of the annual election period.
Happens?
Well, people are typically locked into their plan choice for the following year. There are some triggers. There's special election periods, the disenrollment period, things like that we can work with. But typically you want to make those choices before December 7th so that you don't have to worry about it anymore.
All right.
Thanks for having me on today,
Yeah,
JD.
so bottom line, get on it. Justin Lawrence, thank you very much. I already look forward to having you on next time, and I already have a couple of questions for you that I will be asking.
Okay, super duper.
I look forward to having you. Listen, the best way to get in touch with Justin, just look at the comments right here. We've got Justin and Retirement Vermont all linked up. ASB Financial, FGB Theaters, Barre Area Development, Central Vermont Chamber of Commerce are presenting sponsors, along with Green Mountain Mulch Company, Fecto Homes, Salvador and Babbitt, Vermont Custom Woodworking, the Barre Montpelier Times Argus, Donnybrook Fight Promotion, Wright Electric, Wood Doodles, right here in the Granite City, Gauthier's Quality Grounds and Maintenance, Preston's Kia, Granite City MMA, and Barslow Construction. We're following some of the headlines today in Vermont News. We're going to post up more details about the missing woman last seen in Bolton. Governor Scott planning to extend the motel program. That story is trending this morning. And Burlington delaying the removal of the homeless encampment, a big hot-button issue in the Queen City. We'll have that story for you right here on the Aired Out page as well. Make sure, if you like the podcast, that you tell your friends, follow the page. Make sure to click like, comment, and share. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much for catching the show.